My Hero Academia Season 6, S tier. Just kidding, I ain't watching that shit. What up, weebs? It's your boy Echidna, aka Internet Explorer, and I just finished watching all the best anime from last season. Yeah, sorry for the wait, guys. I was just a bit busy studying for my prostate exam. Chainsaw Man is probably my personal favorite anime from 2022. I've already rewatched it several times, even though it just came out, because it's one of the easiest anime to recommend, even to normies. It's also the most hyped up anime in hype history, so hypothetically speaking, if everyone watching this video subscribed right now, I still wouldn't have as many subs as Makima. Maybe it got a little too much hype in the beginning, but I'd rather be stepped on than slept on. Most of you didn't even realize you liked being stepped on until you discovered Makima, which indicates how influential Chainsaw Man really is. Chainsaw Man's first episode was a bit underwhelming, especially considering how wet the manga made me, but the rest of the anime has absolutely lived up to the hype in my opinion, and that's why it's S tier. Nomen Kanren is about a master farmer who mastered the art of farming, and just as every farmer should, he's got plenty of hoes. Unfortunately, this farming anime is about as exciting as actual farming. It's like watching crops grow, except without a time lapse. This anime had the potential to be anything other than shit, but it chose to be diarrhea instead. I wouldn't be surprised if Nomen Kanren's animation was better in the light novel, but I wouldn't read it even if I forgot my phone in the bathroom. I'm being generous by placing this in D tier. More than a married couple, but not lovers. Remember back in high school when the teacher paired you up with a random girl and made you live together, get married, and fall in love with each other as a homework assignment? I guess you must have been out sick that day, but this assignment basically evaluates your intimacy as husband and wife. You get bonus points for kissing and extra credit for sleeping together, so this assignment is hard, but not difficult. I knew Akari would make it to the thumbnail from the moment I first laid eyes on her. She's one of my favorite waifus of the season, and she could probably eat a banana without chewing. Akari has a lot of intriguing scenes that I'm not allowed to show you in this video, so I'll just play the audio instead. I'm giving this anime a grade of A+ for being so entertaining and for actually developing relationships. Every episode, this couple reaches milestones that would have taken about 400 chapters in Rent a Girlfriend, or about 10 seconds in Love Flops. Love Flops is a shameless ecchi where women randomly trip and fall ass first onto this poor kid's head roughly 6 to 9 times per episode. He literally can't even walk to school without getting a face full of fish, yet he ardently refuses to lose his virginity until it gets stolen from him by a dog, also known as a Makima simp. Even this kid's teacher wants to join his harem, yet he rejects her as well. Who is this guy, the Pope? At first, this anime feels like the plot was written by an AI, but trust me, suspend your disbelief and just take your dick out because this anime gets unironically good at the end of the season. I came to the ecchi, but I stayed for the plot. If I followed the 3-episode rule, I would have dropped this anime and put it in double D tier, but luckily I was horny enough to keep watching and the second half was so much better. Overall though, I'm giving it C tier because the first 7 episodes felt like I was trading in my brain cells for a boner. A fucking bargain if you ask me. Mob Psycho Season 3 is an anime I was really looking forward to, but I heard a few spoilers on accident and I'd rather just wait until I forget about them so I can enjoy this anime at its full potential. I'm putting it in the pending tier for now, but let me know where you guys would have placed it. Unless of course you're afraid of leaving a comment, in which case you might enjoy Bocchi the Rock. Bocchi the Rock uses exaggerated humor to showcase the concept of social anxiety and executes it with frightening accuracy. For those of us who were born with a negative charisma modifier, basic human interaction can sometimes feel like a life or death scenario. The other day at a restaurant, the waitress told me, "Enjoy the food," and I was like, "Thanks, you too." So yeah, Bocchi is such a beloved character because of how relatable she is. Bocchi is literally me. The only difference is that she's actually good at something. The music, voice acting, and overall sound is definitely the highlight of this anime, but it's also extremely wholesome, funny, and creative. It's the most underrated anime of 2022, 2023, and maybe all the way up to 2035 when ReZero Season 3 comes out. Cute girls doing cute things isn't my favorite type of anime, but Bocchi the Rock is the best of its kind. So for being the top anime of an entire genre, it's absolutely going in S tier. Peter Grill Season 2 is an anime that I'm going to try to talk about without declaring bankruptcy. Basically, there's this guy named Peter Grill who just wants to live a simple life together with his beloved girlfriend, except he just can't stop cheating on her. Every episode, a new waifu barges into Peter Grill's bedroom and tries to extract his DNA. But as a loyal, honorable man, Peter Grill always tries to resist. Except for when he doesn't. D tier is where Peter Grill belongs, but if anyone else watched it, you guys have my utmost respect. It kinda bothers me how this anime is only 4 tiers away from Bocchi the Rock and Chainsaw Man, so I think we need to adjust the tier list for inflation. Peter Grill Season 2 is trash, but it isn't just trash. It's the type of trash that smells so bad, you actually have to take it out of the trash can and put it outside. Urusei Yatsura is a nostalgic remake of a classic boomer anime. It's fun, goofy, and doesn't care enough to take itself seriously. It's pretty episodic because the focus is obviously the humor, which hits pretty hard on occasion, but honestly misses fairly often too, which is about what I expect from most anime. Lum was very entertaining to watch though, and I'm not old enough to verify this, but apparently she was like the first waifu ever assembled or something like that. Despite being a great waifu, I think Lum's a bit too old for me though. The manga came out in 1978, but they did a pretty good job hiding how dated the source material is. I don't know who the hell was reading manga in 1978 when they should have been busy inventing the Steam engine instead, but this anime will be very nostalgic for anyone who remembers what this thing is. B tier. Uzaki-chan Season 2 is a romance comedy featuring that sugoi dekai girl you might have seen getting cancelled on Twitter for the past several years. But although she might look like a 10-year-old boy with massive tits, Uzaki-chan is actually an animation. Anyway, this anime is fun and cute, and that's about it. The story moves at the pacing of a cloud with very little romantic progression, to the point that Mal changed the tag from romance to romantic subtext. I wouldn't even mind the pacing if the characters weren't completely oblivious though. I get that the journey is more important than the destination, but when you have to make the characters dumber just to drag out the journey, it can be a bit irritating. Still, this is a good slice of life anime with pretty decent comedy. B tier. To Your Eternity Season 2 gets a lot of criticism for being completely different from Season 1, but I think it's proof that this anime can do literally anything and still be good. I keep hearing the argument that some of the goofy new characters feel too cartoonish to belong in this anime, but I don't think that's any goofier than last season when they turned a kid into a human distillery and nobody even questioned it. My point is, whatever this anime does ends up working somehow. I actually have no complaints about the characters, other than Mr. Black acting inconsistent. Like, sometimes he's all vague and mysterious as if he isn't supposed to interfere with the world, but then a second later he'll change his mind and interfere with the world. Other than that, I think this is just as good as the first season, which means it's S tier. If you haven't started this anime yet, at least watch the first episode, because Season 1, Episode 1 is literally the best first episode of any anime ever, hands down. Reincarnated as a Sword has one of the worst first episodes, but it does improve a lot later on. This is a new isekai that sounds really interesting until you watch it. It's about a guy who turns into a sword, yet this cat girl is the only character that makes the cut. It's so generic and average, the anime itself kind of feels like a background character. It's like meeting a guy named John whose hobbies include listening to music and eating food, but also he's got a cat who's infinitely more interesting than he is. There's better, there's worse, this anime's average, C tier. Akiba Maid War is an absurd anime that capitalizes on shock value. For anyone who doesn't know this about Japan, there's a bunch of cafes where the waitresses dress like maids, call you master, and act as moe as possible. It's pretty fascinating how Japanese culture has evolved throughout the years. Anyway, 600 people get murdered in the first episode. These maid cafes are at war with each other, so there's a lot of blood and violence, and it's just awesome. The impeccable shock value of episode 1 left me amazed, but once the surprise is over, you start to get used to it. Regardless, because of how ridiculous and unique the plot is, this anime made it to B tier. Spy Family Part 2 is a nice continuation of the series, although I will admit that it isn't quite as exciting as the first few episodes were. I think this anime peaked with the grenade proposal and then started getting a bit repetitive, but regardless, it's still leagues above most of its competition. I think the dog was a nice addition to the Forger family, but I can't help but theorize that this is somehow because of Makima. Spy Family is one of the most wholesome anime I've ever seen, and it's absolutely worth a watch. S tier. The Eminence in Shadow is an interesting isekai about this chuny kid who wants to be able to survive a nuclear bomb.
I need more power.
I respect his ambition, but I think there's a reason Reinhardt was a side character. Anyway, I somewhat agree with his disdain for human limitations. I often get annoyed at my body for getting hungry. Like, oh, here we go again. Now I have to get up and find something to eat, or I'll die. And then 20 minutes later, oh great, now I have to get up and poop again, or I'll die. Badass anime characters never poop. Do you see this kid? Do you really think he poops? He's a master swordsman who started a secret group called Shadow Garden, and then he named himself Shadow.
Okay.
Yeah, this is one of the edgiest anime I've ever seen, but I think the cringe is intentional because it's limited to the main character who's a kid. This anime kinda makes me feel like I'm 13 again, which is actually one of the best compliments I can give something. If you can immerse yourself, it'll be a very enjoyable experience, and I think it's worthy of A tier. Cyberpunk Edgerunners already feels like it came out over a year ago, but it was technically a fall 2022 anime. It's very immersive, exciting, and heartbreaking. Lucy was a great waifu, but if I did a smash or pass for Rebecca, well, you can just call me Adam. At first, Edgerunners will make you yearn for the future, but by the end of the season, you'll be left afraid of the future. If you're having a great week and you haven't felt depressed in a while, this anime is the perfect way to ruin that. You will probably cry because of how depressing it gets, but you also might cry because it ended. This anime was so good, I almost bought the game, so for being one of the best anime, if not the best anime of 2022, Cyberpunk Edgerunners is going in God tier. Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer kept airing into the fall season, unfortunately, and I'm just gonna save you the time. No. No, nope, just no. It's one of the most embarrassing adaptations of all time, and I honestly feel bad for the manga readers. My Rem If story videos had better fight scenes than this garbage, and I seriously needed to bleach my eyes after watching it. Bleach. Man, we're really about to have 4 anime in God tier. This might be the most overpowered tier list I've ever made, but Bleach is irrefutably one of the most influential anime of all time, and this new season was amazing. It's very different from the old Bleach, but it looks beautiful and has some of the best fight scenes in the entire series. Nothing can replace how it feels to hear Bankai again after all those years. If anyone out there is wondering if you should watch this new season, but you aren't caught up with Bleach and you don't remember what episode you left off at, so you'd have to rewatch the entire anime from the beginning, which would cripple your social life and cause a 2-month delay on your tier list video, I'd say it's probably worth it. I'm the Villainous, so I'm Taming the Final Boss is an isekai about a girl named Eileen who gets trapped inside a game as the Villainous who's supposed to die at the end of the game, and the only way for her to survive is by defeating the Demon Lord with the most powerful weapon at her disposal. P. Originally, I had a Come On Eileen joke written down for this one, but then I realized Gigguk already did it, so please enjoy this picture of Eileen instead. Unfortunately, I found it difficult to get as invested in this anime because my brain automatically compared it to Bacarina and Mob Psycho, which are both a lot better, but this one is decent. There isn't much to complain about, I'll give it B tier. And that's the tier list, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know in the comments what rankings you disagreed with and where you think I messed up. I'm super excited for this next anime season. This current anime season. Yeah, my bad guys. This tier list was pretty late, but at least it wasn't my period. I do honestly feel pretty bad for making you guys wait so long, so I promise the next tier list will be uploaded on time, and I'll have the Echidna Anime Awards coming out on time as well. Thank you to everyone who left a comment asking if I'm still alive. I promise I will stay alive until I'm dead. You can take that to the bank. Alright, peace out guys, thanks for watching.